All right, Coach, thank you very much. Would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to questions?
No, yeah, I can make a statement. Yeah, I think, listen, hard-fought game. I thought both teams competed. Both teams were really good offensively, really made shots. Give them credit. I think you got to give them credit. I think they were able to get enough stops there when we were we turned it over. They had a couple offensive rebounds in a key sequence, and I think ultimately that was the difference. But give them credit. I think they deserve the credit for winning the game, and we'll give them that, and we'll try to figure out how to improve and move forward.
Great, thank you. We're going to go ahead and open up the floor with questions. Clay Hall, Channel 6. Clay?
Chris, yeah, you can play as well and shoot it as well and defend, et cetera, but sometimes size can be a big factor. How big was it? Just seemed like Dickinson, was just a little bit too tough down the stretch.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's a really good player, and I thought his length and size at the end of the day bothered us. So we'll have to figure out how to do a better job of that in certain situations. Give them credit. I think the shooting around him makes the way they pass it and shoot it around them. They've got an older team that you can tell has played together and won. They've got some guys that have played together and won, obviously at a really high level, given what that program has done in the last 5 to 8 years. And I think you see that with a guy like Livers, who's just really been important for them. And then their older transfers really helped them. But yeah, he's a load inside, and I thought we were able to attack him in certain ways and make it difficult for him. But at the end of the day, I thought it just wasn't quite enough.
The quality of basketball, did you ever look? I started to think, how can the national championship be any better than this for 37, 38 minutes? It was lights out, it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to feel that way being on the losing end of it. But it was a game certainly that was played with great pace and for the most part, really good execution offensively. Guys made a lot of shots. There's no question, Clay. Guys made a lot of shots, but we'll see. We got to figure out how to move forward.
Next up, Whitney Harding. Whitney.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned that guys made a lot of shots. Did you expect them to hit threes like they did in the first half?
They've got a good shooting team. Some guys numbers were better in the first half than they were making shots at a higher clip maybe than what their percentages have shown, Whitney. But some of it was a byproduct, and I've got to look at it, but some of it was a byproduct of us being in scramble situations, worrying about the big fella too much. And some of it was they made some tough shots. They did make some tough shots. To make 10 threes and for it to only be a 2-point game obviously meant we were scoring it as well. But I thought it was able to level out a little bit going 1 of 10 in the second half. I thought CJ's ball pressure at the point of attack helped. But, again, give them credit. They made some hard ones, and then some of it was our poor coverage.
And then did you say anything to Justice after the game or after that play late in the game?
Which play are you talking about?
The turnover right past half court that led to the end.
We just had a poor execution. So we were talking about the execution on that particular play. We just had we were trying to get what we want. I think we would have got it. He just made a read. I'm not quite sure why he made the read, but that was the conversation.
Next up, Adam Jardy with the Dispatch. Adam.
Yeah, Chris, you get 30 from Dwayne and 23, I think, from EJ, and CJ gives you 13, and then after that, it kind of dropped off. Did they do a can you speak, I guess, maybe to the job that they did taking away some of your other guys? Like, it did seem like Justin was able to get comfortable. You didn't get maybe the across-the-board production that you've gotten in some other games.
Yeah, they're a good defensive team, and I had no issue with our attack, Adam, offensively. I thought we played really well offensively. We kind of took what was there. Our guys made plays. They were obviously smothering Justin, and he wasn't able to get some freedom. Kyle, I thought they did a good job being physical with him on a couple of his deep post ups, so he wasn't as effective as he normally was, and a couple of other guys I think had maybe a little bit off nights. But listen, I had no issue with our overall offensive attack. I thought it was really good. It was the other end that didn't allow us to win the game.
And you mentioned them having some key rebounds late. There was the possession. You were tied at 69, and I think they got like 6 offensive rebounds and scored. Did that feel like a turning point to you?
Well, I think it certainly was an important moment. I don't ever look at it as necessarily a turning point, but I thought it was an important moment where, we can't be good teams and allow that number of shots on goal. So, that's we got to do better at coaching and playing that.
Next up, Stephen Means with Cleveland.com. Stephen.
Coach, now that you've played Hunter and Luka and Kofi, and obviously you'll play 2 of those guys again, I guess what makes Hunter kind of unique from those 2? I guess what makes him a problem in ways that maybe those other 2 don't?
Well, they're all a problem, Stephen. Yeah, they're all a problem. I'd just be honest with you. They're all a problem. They're some of the best bigs in the country. So I wouldn't necessarily give – he played well, but Kofi's a nightmare matchup. So is Luka. So I think it's just collectively we got to find ways to defend those guys better individually and collectively.
Next up, Spencer Holbrook with Letterman Row. Spencer.
Chris, you talked about this team as a legitimate national title contender, and you guys hung with them for 38 and a half minutes and seemed like the entire game. How long does it take you to kind of sit back and make this as like a measuring stick for where you guys are as a team right now?
Yeah, I understand the question. I think my focus right now, Spencer, is just going to be on, areas that we can improve and grow and get better. There are things that we can do as coaches to put our guys in a little bit better position defensively. That's really what I'm going to do. I think in terms of a measuring stick, I do think they're good. There's no question. I think they're good and they're deserving of everything that comes their way. But my focus is our team, and I think we're a good team as well. There's no question we're a good team. But I think improvement. We need to be better come Thursday night in certain areas.
Next up, Bill Landis with The Athletic. Bill?
Chris, you mentioned they were 1 for 10 from 3 in the second half. Did you feel like you guys were better in your rotations defensively in the second half, and you were getting, I don't know, maybe the guys you wanted to shooting the ball on that end as opposed to the first half?
I think it was that. I think having CJ defend the ball helped us. And we tweaked our ball screen coverage a little bit. And then I do think they missed a couple that were open that they made in the first half. I think it was, after just seeing it live, I think it was a combination of all that.
And as you're getting to this time of year, and I know it's always about matchups, right? When you get to this deep in the season, and maybe Michigan has some tougher matchups for you guys and other teams might, but just when you get in those situations, maybe it's an obvious thing, but just how much more important is it to be keyed in on the details, especially on the defensive end, when you know that they're just going to have some guys that one-on-one are going to be tough matchups for you guys?
Yeah, no, I think it's paramount. It's paramount. We were playing one of the best offenses in the country, and obviously their defensive numbers are exceptional as well. It's paramount. So I think that's an area we can improve in. I think we did some good things. There's no question. We did some really good things. But I think a couple of our errors there throughout the course of the game were just too much to overcome. So, Yeah, it's critical. We've talked about it. Our margin for error defensively is small. It is very small. So our attention to detail has to be really, really good.
Next up, Colin Hasshill with 11 Warriors. Colin?
Chris, you've been semi-optimistic sort of this year about being able to defend true fives. And obviously it didn't go the way that you wanted tonight. How much better do you feel like, just given the way that the roster is constructed, you don't have anyone the size of Hunter, that if you're matched up with others like him, you can ensure it doesn't go this way again?
We'll have to look at some things. Yeah, we'll have to look at some things and see. Again, I think a lot's being made of that, but I think there were other guys that impacted us in a significant way that we have to try to take away. So, I think we were also able to attack him in areas, and I think that's always something I think that gets forgotten about is we were also able to really attack him in specific areas and play that to our advantage. And that's, what you have to try to do when maybe you don't have quite the same size.
Next up, Patrick Murphy, 24/7 Sports. Patrick?
Chris, you talk about the defense needing to get better, and you have some guys that don't maybe have the offensive night you want. It's still a game down till that last 4-minute war. And you talk about not getting high, not getting too low. So how do you come out of this when you look at your team, just right now as you walk off the floor? What's your thought about where you guys are and where you want to get?
Listen, disappointed. Yeah, disappointed. There's no question. You lose a game, you're disappointed. I think the expectation for us is that we were going to play well. I think in spots we did play well. We didn't finish the game well enough. So I'm disappointed myself. I thought our guys competed and battled. There's no question. This team has an unbelievable connection. We played the right way offensively. I thought we had a great spirit about us. But, it's disappointing. So that's the overall sentiment. We'll figure out as coaches what we can do to move forward and get better, give them credit. Give them credit for playing well give their team credit. I think they deserve it.
We'll go with a couple more questions. Up next, Brendan Gulick with Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated. Brendan?
Hey, Chris, I'd like to ask you about Justin Arns. And obviously, he didn't have a great night shooting the ball. He was only out there for 15 minutes, but maybe more on the defensive end. It felt like he was not in some critical defensive situations. And I know at times this year he struggled a bit on the defensive end of the floor. Where do you want to see him get better so that he can be on the floor in critical minutes late?
Yeah, no, I just thought we need a little bit more size and rebounding for some of those possessions late. His attention to detail has been great. I think he's been locked in terms of getting better. I thought, I just we wanted a little bit more size and rebounding with some of the things we were doing defensively.
And how's Kyle after the little collision he had there toward the end?
I think he's okay. Again, obviously Musa was out and Kyle was, I think we expected him to be able to go, but there was a little bit of a concern that he may not be able to go in this one. So he's got to get some rest here between now and Thursday.
Next up, Phil Harrison with Buckeyes/USA Today. Phil?
Hey, Coach, keep talking about the defensive end and the need to get better on defense. And today you've gotten away with it, right, with the offense that's been thrown out there. 87 points, you expect to win a ball game. And I know, sure you've been working hard out on a practice and people are really working hard to get better defensively. Do you think giving up 92 points to Michigan maybe gives you a little bit more in the sense of listening at practice and maybe some guys tuning in a little bit better on the defensive end?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think we've been ringing that bell for a few weeks right now with some of our numbers. We'll see. We'll see if we can make improvements in those areas. And that's on us as coaches and players. Again, I don't think this team necessarily has the potential to be elite defensively. I do think we need to get better.
Thanks, Coach.
And we're going to wrap up the questions for Coach Holtmann today, going back to Adam Jardy with the Dispatch. Adam?
Chris, we ask you a lot when Dwayne has a tough game. Feels only right to ask you when he has a game like this. Seemed like especially from two. He's able to drive and just be more effective. I know that's been a little bit of a trend recently, but can you just speak to what he was able to give you today in a high-level game to get 30 from him on the number of shots he took?
Yeah, no, I think Dwayne's been really, really locked in. He's been really committed to growing as a player. He's been really committed to playing the right way. I thought, again, we really played connected offensively. We really played as we have, for a number of, for the entire season, particularly here in the last couple months. I think that I have to go look back and kind of grade his, overall performance. It's what we do. I think there's things that get lost right on first look or people who, don't have a chance to study it like we're going to. So I'll go back and look at it. I thought he had a critical turnover too, but Dwayne was terrific. Our guys today got no fault with their competitiveness, their the spirit they played with. No fault at all. We just, unfortunately we got beat by a good team, and we got to figure out how to move forward from it.
And can you give us an update long-term on Musa? Is this an injury that could linger, or?
He's got large, significant amount of swelling in his ankle, significant from after the game until all the way to this morning. So we'll see if that when that goes down.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.